everybody, and welcome.
Hello. Oh,
She's back.
I know, she did it without me.
Yeah, well, we were all busy, weren't we? We were both very busy.
I finally managed to relaunch my podcast, so quite fucking frankly, we couldn't have done two in 1 week.
No,
Bloody
it
hell.
would have been too much. It was a crazy week last week. To be fair, we say that. It's literally, we're filming this on Saturday, recording this on Saturday, because we did actually see each other this week, but it needed to be.
That feels like ages
It does not
ago.
feel like this week, but it was.
No.
It's literally 3 days ago.
That's mental.
I know. Mental. But yes, we needed a bit of Hannah and Millie time without it being podcast time, really, didn't we?
Yeah, well, there wasn't much time, was there? Because we had to get the tube from Westminster at rush hour, and that was actually traumatic.
It was. We did end up sitting in a station whilst 3 tubes went past. But actually, do you know what?
It was worth it, wasn't it?
It was. Mainly because of how I was going to say I don't like travelling with you, but it's not that I don't like travelling with you. It's just that, like, you get really travel sick, so I always get a bit worried that you're going to throw up.
I know, it is really jarring how travel sick I get.
And I don't like it because I'm like, you know those situations where you just don't know how to help someone?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do though.
Yeah.
The thing is, I am the world's worst traveller. Like, I get ridiculously travel sick, which is probably actually the main thing that I don't like about it. Obviously, like, I don't like busy, although not even the thing is rush hour on the tube. It's not even the fact that it's busy. It's that obviously it is busy, and I obviously know. But I mean, sorry, you have to. If anyone stands here and tells me that they enjoy rush hour tube, you really do need to go get your head looked at, because like you don't need a hamster or a therapist. You need actually like a psychiatrist.
Exorcism.
Yeah, because that's just not normal behaviour. But it's just like how people act when it's busy. Like, we literally saw about 5 people, like, literally run at the door and nearly had their heads decapitated. And you just think, sorry, but if you look up there, there is another tube, like, every 1 minute. You are willing to have your head cut off from your body to save yourself not even a minute, because quite frankly, first of all, your head's going to be chopped off, so you're basically done. Done what you are, not basically done, you're fully done for. Also, if you get stuck in this tube door, it's going to be longer than a minute, isn't it? Because we'll have to get the bloody fire brigade to extricate your head.
Did I ever tell you about the time my leg got stuck in a tube door? Because I tried to get on I'd been waiting there for ages, and then loads of people pushed in front of me. So then I tried to get on the tube, and then the tube door was shut on my leg. And then I had to just, like, pull it out, and then I was still stood on the station, and I thought, all you motherfuckers.
Jarring.
Put the explicit warning in.
Yeah, but I think everything's better with an explicit warning.
We can be more authentically ourselves with an explicit.
Also, why are you driving past pointing at my house?
That's where.
Do not.
That's where Hannah Whitfield lives.
It's not my house, is it? Let's be real.
Well, it is where you live, though, isn't it?
It's where I live.
So.
Oh, there's a whole gang of them in convoy. Oh gosh, I'm not getting mugged. Oh, he's running with a dog. This is all a bit wild.
Anyway.
So yeah, we had that kind of dramatic situation on the tube.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so I'm a really bad traveller, basically. And then I get too hot, and I get so bored as well. I'd rather be moving than waiting. And then when I'm bored, I get irrationally angry. Also, because this is how PDA I am, because, so like, when I'm like when I've got loads of time, I don't do anything. As soon as I get on like the tube and I've got no signal and no, like, I can't do anything, I was so angry because I want to do all the things that I'm meant to have done. And I just think,
I know what you mean.
You're the problem.
I've been getting more of that thing where like I used to love just like driving in my car, and now I think as I get busier, things like that just feel like time wasting for me. And I know, like, it's not.
This is when we have to like become like, you know, those kind of like Buddhist vegan meditators, you know, casual magic. But yeah,
no, I'm trying to be I don't know. A Buddhist? No. Went through that.
Yeah. I was really jarred this week, I can't lie, but I thought I might be burnt out, but no, I actually think I got kidney problems. Which I actually don't know what's worse.
I'm going to say kidney problems because I feel like the recovery for burnout is
When it's not full burnout,
potentially,
when it's just like a bit of burnout, not fully burnt.
but even I think fully burnt out is potentially easier to recover from than kidney failure.
Oh yeah, I don't think well, yeah, no, obviously, yeah, absolutely.
Don't think we should be arguing that kidney failure.
No, but we're hoping it's not full kidney failure. Can you imagine, like me on dialysis? Oh, here's my friend, Dave, the dialysis machine.
Right, you can't name it
Cry.
after my dad. Come on now.
Yeah,
I know you're obsessed.
I would have to name it after your dad, obviously. But actually, we're not here to talk about my failing kidneys or my inability to travel.
No, we're here to talk about the fact that it's Mental Health Week this week. Mental Health Awareness Week.
Mental Health Awareness Week.
Yeah, I missed out awareness.
The 12th, I think.
The
To the
12th.
19th.
The 12th to the 19th.
And the theme is
Community. Oh, sorry, were you going to say it? Community.
woo.
Woo, woo, woo. To be honest, when I discovered that that was the theme, I was like, oh my god, I love me a bit of Community. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really
a good.
excited.
When I first saw it, I was like, I think probably in my kidney failure state of like, but it's such because it's like it really links into like my big passion theme of belonging.
Yeah. I was going to say yes, because I was...
Because I think it's one of the biggest and most important parts of like mental health is when you have that feeling of belonging in that community. Actually, like that is the answer.
Yeah.
Or as closer to an answer as you're going to get.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Actually. And that's the episode done.
Yeah. Because Millie, you've got to carry this. I am in.
No, I know you're in kidney failure. Well, I've got my questions, haven't I? But
Yeah.
that's like our little introduction, so I guess we just get on with it, don't we?
Shall I have a cheeky vegan prawn cracker?
Yeah.
To see if that boosts the.
Wait, have you not eaten your rice?
I have, but I'm not. I've eaten a lot, but then I actually don't really. I don't even know. I don't really like this kind of food.
Okay. Okay, we'll just ignore it.
Well, I haven't eaten quite a lot of the rice. Then I felt sick. My kidney to failing. Jarring.
It's rather, isn't it? It's not good. Anyway, onwards and upwards.
Moving on, get a grip. Let's
Moving
go.
on, let's get a grip and let's go. So tell me, Hannah, when was the first time that you really felt part of a community? I think that's a good starting point. Is your first ever?
I've actually written a blog about this for this week for the Mighty Creatives, and I wrote how I don't think I've actually yet found my community properly. It's better than it was.
Yeah.
But I really don't think I have yet, and I think that's for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, and I think that's okay.
I found individuals, but to find like a full community, I think it's hard at the moment.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I actually think it's really interesting because I think, well, I bet you know what I'm going to talk about as my community.
Oh God.
Going to get me started on the Mount View chat.
To be fair, this is actually the best episode because normally you could talk about that for days, and because I'm actually like out here, like actually fully dying, it's probably quite good for you to take the lead.
Yeah.
Well, you podcast anyway, but you know what I mean, like
yeah, no.
Because you could talk for days on this.
I could.
Let's go then.
I think Mount View was the first time that I really fully felt part of a community and felt like I had a proper, full-on, fully trustworthy, like all-in community. Because I think there's been like, I think I'm a very much a people person. And so community is really important to me. And I think I'd had communities in the past, but it just not quite be the right one for me, kind of thing. I think it's interesting, like that kind of feeling like you're part of something, but also knowing that something's not quite right and not being able to fully like give yourself into it. And now, actually, I think since having my Mount View community, I'm able to find community kind of not everywhere I go, but I find it a lot easier to find my community in different places and be like, oh, well, like now, I'd say my theatre school that I work at is now actually quite a like an amazing community for me at the moment. So it's kind of
Just shut this Slack because now we've got a background, but like the background is now actually the real light is actually now like doing what the background's doing, and it's just so jarring. Is that better? Yeah. No, it's not. Bet with.
oh yeah. But yeah, I think finding those people that you can really like go all in with and feel really safe with, I think it's so important. And like, I'd wish it for everyone to find a community where they really feel seen and feel like they can be fully themselves.
Yeah.
Because
No, I think.
I
Oh,
think,
sorry.
no, you carry on. You go.
You go.
No, you go.
You go.
Okay. Um,
So I hope it's deep and profound though now.
well, no, I think that's where my real mental health work could begin, is in that safe community and knowing that I had people to fall back on and lift me up when I needed it, kind of thing. And it's actually, I think, when a lot of my processing happened. And that's another thing that I found quite interesting. Sometimes things get worse before they get better, and I definitely found that like being in that safe space allowed me to process things, which then from an outside perspective you'd be like, oh, is she okay? Is she okay? Because she looks like she's struggling a little bit. But actually, that was just me having to like fully. I saw an interview with Angelina Jolie, and she said, what's a piece of advice for anyone going through a hard time?" And she said, "Go fully through it. Like, don't kind of hide away from it or try and push it down or push it to one side. Go fully through it, because that's the only way that you'll fully get out the other side." And I think that really, I think community was a big part of that for me.
I think they say that with like trauma recovery and stuff, like you have to like it gets worse before it gets better because you've lived in survival mode, and then you have to like retrust safety, and then you've got to like feel it in different ways before you can move. But also, I think like as people, I think a lot of like mental illness and help, not illness, but like a lot of mental health comes from like deep down like feelings of like loneliness, and like loneliness isn't about not necessarily having people or like being physically alone. And I think that like we all need a purpose. That's the thing, we all need a purpose, a reason to, and that's what community kind of brings you, that purpose. Deep.
Very deep. I do think it's like a hard one though. It's hard to find your community. I feel very, very lucky because I was kind of thrown into my community without.
And I think it doesn't have to just be one place though.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that if you think your community is an actual place, it can be really hard if you have to leave.
Really? Really, Hannah?
I know. Don't know whether you relate to that.
I don't know. I don't think so, actually. No, I do. That was definitely a big thing. And I also think it's quite hard moving from one community to another.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
If your community's a place, but I'm not sure my community's actually a place or ever going to be a specific
No.
place. It's going to be a vibe.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I'm learning, because I think for a long time I thought that I would find a place, like a physical place, that would be my community. But actually, I don't. I think in that's probably a bit too like autistically literal for me.
Do you know what? When I was thinking about this, when we were like planning the episode, I was thinking like, I feel like because I found a like solid foundation of what I wanted my community to be, now, or even like before, but like I feel like my community has always been like almost like a little collection of people that I pick up along the way, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And kind of now I feel very much more. I feel like because I've had my experience having a solid community that is like a community where everyone's in it for the same thing, like, and it being a place.
Yeah.
And knowing what that feels like has actually really helped me in terms of now being able to like set my expectations with people
Yeah.
and be able to say like, well, I can get on in this community, but this community isn't for me. I'm just
Yeah.
using the word community a lot, and it's actually a little bit jarring now.
Shot every time Millie said community so far off.
You don't. I will. I'm having a cheeky beverage tonight, guys.
You are. Wow.
Little Saturday night bev. Don't
Whereas I've just got kidney problems.
got kidney problems. Oh, I want to give you a little cuddle. When me and Hannah, I tell you what, me and Hannah had community because she gave me a cuddle in her sleep the other night.
That sounds.
And it not no, okay.
I think we need context. Context is very, very essential for what you have just said.
Hannah was very tired. And she fell asleep, and then like at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I just feel this little body roll over to me and just snuggle up next to me, and I was like, oh.
And then the additional clarity context you still haven't given for this is that I'm not a very huggy person.
Yeah.
AKA like I sleep. If I share a bed with someone, like I sleep.
She normally sleeps like an absolute plank. Like she's literally
right at the edge. Don't move.
Exactly. But no, not this time.
No.
This time you were very movie, actually.
I know.
I'm very firmly asleep because normally I feel a bit worried by
Yeah, I'm normally the world's lightest sleeper.
Yeah.
I'm knackered at the moment. Kidneys.
Kidneys, eh? What can you do?
What can you do? What can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do?
But you know what? I do think we're like a little sub-community for each other.
We are a little sub-community.
I don't even think, like, I think the word that I keep saying...
I'm literally no help because I feel like absolutely gone.
It's okay.
I'm not having to wake up.
But I think the word community indicates that it's more than one person, but actually I think you can find that the sense... I think it's more of a feeling than a...
Yeah, no, definitely.
Than a thing. Than a group of people.
Yeah, and I think it is that thing of like, when we look at like mental health, and like, again, obviously, like, there is always a need, like, within when it comes to like mental illness and stuff like that, and this is not to like take away from like the medical side and like the psychiatry side, and like that's obviously really important, but I think when you talk about mental health, obviously there's always, get professional help and all that stuff, obviously, but like aside from that, like, I think it is the thing that like leads to like a life worth living is these other bits that are like not medical, they're not prescribed, they're not like diagnosable or like definable. They're like
Yeah.
just things in life, and like community is one of those things that when you've got it's like that quote, or those statistics that say like if when one person looks at like a hill and how hard will it take to climb it, and then it's like halved if you're with someone like with a friend. And I think I suppose that thing of like life's is easier when you or feels easier. Not it isn't actually doesn't change,
Yeah.
but it feels easier when you've got people around you. And I think that's probably what that thing of community is. And it's about finding different spaces. And I think we are lucky in this day and age that like although there's lots of like bad stuff with social media can also have like the good part of like
Yeah.
creating community. And also like there's so many groups now that you can go to, and like clubs, and like you know and it's a lot of effort. Tell me about it. But like when your kidneys aren't playing up, it's really worth it.
Yeah. No. I think that's definitely the thing. Like, maybe that's the thing in itself of like, how do you find the
How do you find
immunity?
community? Well, why don't we go like what kind of community places do you have?
I guess actually, it leads me back to why I got into like musical theatre and theatre in the first place. Because, funnily enough, guys, that was actually because I was in school. I was just a little depressed bean, and I've done it in that voice. It wasn't funny, obviously, but
I'm just having some food while you
yeah,
talk.
you have some food. Um, and I was really not very happy, and was like going to therapy, and the school was going to take my therapy away from me, and so they said like, we want you to have something that you can do that'll like be something for you.
Hmm.
And they were like, well, you do singing lessons, so why don't you try out for the musical? And I did, and that was my first ever show that I ever did. And genuinely, after that, I always say that was like the spark of like, I want to do this. And the thing that it was, like, that is my love for theatre, isn't like just being on stage and like having a fun time. It's that
A
it's the
community.
community. I'm
It's
such a
such
people person. I've learnt that so much about myself in the past. I think like 2 years is that I am such like, I love people. Like and people fuel me.
yeah.
And I know for some people that's not the case, but for me, I love it. I love it. So, but I mean, that's the kind of thing like going out and trying a new activity. I mean, you've started. I tell you where you could find your new community, Hannah. Are your roller skating classes?
Yeah, I've missed two now.
That's okay. Ali Pally, you're so
Yeah.
good at like getting
I have
yourself out
and that
there.
and I think that's something that like I have so many places, yet I don't necessarily feel like they are my. But I think that that's a really important like message and like thing to share. That because like for me, I have so many different places, but none of them feel like. I think that's something that like it's okay if you're in that position of
Yeah,
like you have lots of places, but none of them feel truly like your community slash like you belong there.
yeah.
Because I do have I have loads. I go to so many places, but I don't necessarily feel like any of them at the moment really are my place or my community. I do think that I have a lot of. I think creativity and like the arts and theatre is a great place for community. I don't know what it is about like me and me and people. I find it really hard to not find people really jarring.
I think. Well, to be fair, I think with your I think with your history, it's like amazing how far you've come in terms of being able to trust people at all. And I think actually, if I was in your position and I'd experienced the things that you've experienced, I think I'd be finding everyone a little more than jarring. But
Yeah.
I think that's like the journey, and I think that's kind of quite a like beautiful thing that you are. I really feel like at the moment, at the end of the day, life is just like a collection of things that you pick up along the way. Like, obviously, not physical things, but
No.
people, experiences,
Kidney problems,
places, kidney problems
whole
that
shebang.
you like pick up on your way. And I
Mental
think,
illnesses.
and I, but I actually think, I think you've probably been one of the things that's really made me feel that way. But I think you are such a good example of somebody who just does anything that like you can. Like you just say yes. And not in a well, sometimes in a you're getting
Not
better
recently.
at the to your
Not
detriment.
recently. At the moment, I'm like too much. Just say no.
Yeah.
I need a little. I need to go back. I've swung the pendulum too far. At the moment, I'm like Heather's. Just say no.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I say no. No, no, no.
Precisely. But I think that's like you will find it because you are actively looking
Yeah.
for it, or not even actively looking for it, but you are putting yourself in all the right places to be able to find it.
That's what I learned. Like you if you're looking for something, you won't find it. But if you stay in your bed, you also won't find it. So it's that thing of like going and doing things, no strings attached, and that's
Exactly.
really hard when like you've been hurt, or it's really hard for everybody. But it's really hard when you've been hurt. Really hard when you've got necessarily not like things to go back to, if that makes sense. But I think that the only way you'll find out is to just go and like see what happens and go with no strings attached. And I think that is why, you know, me applying to go to Mount View last year was like such a like I first of all didn't actually know anything about drama school, as I've mentioned before, which was just feral. But like I went like that. I applied for that and literally was like a no strings attached kind of vibe. Like I was just like, and that's and I had obviously a lot of bad bits, but also like I met Millie, so lots of amazing bits. And I think that sometimes it's that thing of like although it's scary to like feel like you're wasting your time doing things like or joining a group almost if it isn't the right one, but actually if you never do it, there's time still going.
I knew you were going to say that. That's from the comfort zone, isn't it? They always say that.
Is it?
They always say it on the comfort zone. They always say the time will pass anyway.
Do they? I've not listened to them
No, but I
recently.
feel like it must be ingrained in your head because I knew you were going to come up.
Must be, yeah. I did. It's not, but it must be. I'm speaking. Um,
I love it. Wow.
yeah, I do think it is such like a
It's so true,
that
isn't it? Like the time.
is learning that. It's like last night I was so jarred because everybody was just. I was like, oh my god, like what is wrong with everybody? What is wrong with the world? Like, and like you just think, oh, I just can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do. This. I can't be. And then like you feel like everyone's perceiving you in just in the wrong way, and you're like, this is all ridiculous. And like, oh my god. And then I just like then realise I literally think I might be some kind of kidney problem. So again, so that's probably why I'm so jarred. But that thing of like ultimately, what's going? No.
Yeah. No, I get you. It's like,
Although there's one community I could get rid of is the pollen.
well,
But you can't.
actually, that's not
We love.
good for the planet.
No, it's not good for the planet. I knew you were going to say that, Millie. But can we just make like can the pollen just become a little bit less
Colony.
allergic?
There's
No, it can
so
be
much
pollen.
pollen where I live. Like you can literally see all of the pollen.
Oh
It's
god,
like you can
that's.
see the hay fever coming for you.
Oh. And the thing is, like, you never want to be someone to complain. Like, I'm all for the vegans and the climate activists. Like, I'm all over it. Love it. Eating my vegan food this evening. But, and I think, we need to save our planet, obvs. But,
Ovs.
sorry, the pollen. That'll be another reason why I'm knackered as well, because the pollen, my body is so inflamed
You
by
actually
pollen.
just look high, Hannah. Like it's just like what
I haven't even
pollen?
changed. Pollen. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Is.
No, but the other night I woke up at like 3 a.m. It was dark. The pollen was like medium in the middle of the night, and my body was like having a full blown allergic reaction, like full blown hay fever at like 3 a.m. And I was like, sorry.
It's
Sorry.
not okay. My hay fever keeps like it just randomly will flare up for like half an hour and then it'll stop. But it happened the other day. The other day I went to the US Embassy, for all you listeners. And it happened in the queue to talk to the embassy people, and I was thinking, I can't turn.
It's not at the embassy. Crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe they have special pollen in the American embassy.
maybe.
Who knows?
Oh, so many feral stories. I might do a story time on my trip to the embassy because there was a lot going on.
Are you going to do that after the 2 years?
Maybe.
Exciting.
Might actually cut all of this out so that they don't think anything dodgy is happening.
Yeah, I mean, you started talking about it, I was thinking, I thought you weren't going to talk about it.
I know. But I booked
It's not dodgy. It's not dodgy at all. You just took a London bus into the embassy, tiny little souvenir.
I know. Tiny little souvenir. I booked my tickets last night.
Oh, took a fly there? Jarring. Was it expensive? You don't have to tell me how much. Was it expensive?
It was £500.
I don't know why I asked, but I actually don't know how much a flight is.
For a return flight. Well, to be fair, my flights to Iceland were like 300.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like too bad, really.
No.
I don't know, obviously.
No, it wasn't. Because to be fair, if you got a single flight with British Airways, £1,000. If you got a return flight, 500.
Interesting.
And not just like 500 each way. No, both flights 500.
Mental. When are you returning?
I come back on the 17th of December.
Oh, so you come back for Christmas?
Yeah, because that's when I break up. But it's an overnight flight.
Ooh, spicy.
So I leave at 11:20 in America, and I arrive at 11:20 here.
That's feral.
Because of the time difference.
That's mental. Crazy. How exciting, though.
I know, I'm very excited. Anyway, we should. So I'm going to cut all of that out anyway. So.
Awkward. For Mental Health Awareness Week, what can the people be expecting from future podcast episodes? Seeing as this is the mental health podcast.
This is a mental health podcast in many ways. I'm going to put my cider down.
Yeah. We don't promote drinking.
We don't promote drinking, but also if you are of age, an occasional drink
You're not me.
can be enjoyed. Well, yeah, you obviously...
I can't.
Oh, gosh.
But most people can. Yeah.
I think...
Did you hear that? That's my dip. So weird. Sorry, carry on.
What's your dip?
My dip's making a weird noise. And I was like pushing the lid in.
No.
I know. With such sticky hands, it's actually really jarring. I'm gonna have to keep eating, because otherwise I can't cope with having sticky hands and not be eating. Can't really have sticky hands and be eating, but better than.
Okay. What can you expect? I don't really know. We plan them week by week, really, don't we? I mean, we are a mental health podcast, but I also think we're just a kind of life podcast as much as anything.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, like...
Oh, do we have any words of wisdom for the exam people? Because the exams have started. Jarring.
Oh, well, find your community.
Yeah.
Advice for exam people who is...
Let me tell you, people.
We can't do 10 million topics, though. I don't think we should do about the...
No, I'm not getting lots of tips, but it's Mental Health Awareness Week. How bad did your mental health go during exams? Actually, I don't know.
Mine didn't go that badly.
Finding your community outside of your academics. Like, this is my message for people who, right now, are listening to this podcast about mental health and community, who are really scared while they're doing their exams. Just do your best. It doesn't matter. Because I thought I wanted to go and do medicine, and here I am.
With kidney failure. Probably should have done medicine.
Eating a vegan prawn cracker with slight kidney problems, but in the arts, and the arts will always be where my community is. And I didn't get any A-levels, and you know what? Didn't do me any harm.
And I did. And it didn't do me any good.
Didn't do any harm though either.
No. I think...
So you can have both ways.
Yeah, if you're doing exams...
Live life up.
Don't
cheat.
Well, no, don't cheat. I feel like that's first of all, out of our jurisdiction to be saying don't cheat.
We don't know. I think it's quite within everyone's jurisdiction. Don't cheat. Don't take any illegal things into the exam hall.
Christ. But I think knowing, like, at the end of the day, your community is gonna. What are you saying? I assume you're just chatting nonsense. I can't lie. What did you just say?
Clear water bottle and clear pencil case into the exam hall.
Yeah, you are chatting nonsense.
That's true.
I know that's true. Like, I'm not saying it's not a lie. I think I just did a double negative. But what I was gonna say was, just trust that your community is going to be there for you, whether you get your A levels or you get your GCSEs, or if you don't. At the end of the day, you're going to be okay.
Your kidneys are the most important thing.
And you'll find your people if you haven't already. But I can almost guarantee that, like, most people have probably found at least one person. And that might be the first person in your community. What?
I had him when I was 16.
Beverly.
Oh, that's my mother, though.
I'd count my mum in my community. Because I think it's like the... Do you know what this is making me think of? Is like, you know when everyone says like, oh, it takes a village to raise a child? I think that's your community when you're an adult. It's like it takes a village to raise an adult, frankly. It takes a village to...
They've all set me on fire.
Okay, right. Again, Hannah's talking nonsense. But I just think, like, I don't think that's just when you're raising a child.
I'm never raising a child.
I think that's like when you're raising a human being.
No.
But it's just that when you are a child, obviously you don't get to pick your community. As you grow up, you do. You get to choose who's influenced.
I want a dog.
Yeah, Teddy's in your community. Both of them.
Yeah, but the dog Teddy doesn't really like me anymore. Jarring.
Okay.
He's got mummy issues.
Bit awkward, isn't it? My cat's in my community. I love it. I just think it's such a, like, beautiful thing, community. It really makes me feel happy. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yay.
Okay. Well, I think with that, we might leave it.
On that beautiful note, keep swimming, my darlings. Keep swimming.
Keep swimming. And you've got this. And also, sometimes these awareness weeks can be quite a triggering time for everybody because some morons like to post things that are just not helpful.
My kidneys are triggered.
Look after yourselves.
And your kidneys.
And your kidneys. Bloody hell. Should we call this episode You Need Good Kidneys?
Yeah.
Because that's where it's going.
Yeah.
But have a beautiful mental health awareness week, guys.
And we'll be here next
Monday. Hannah doesn't know when these podcasts come out.
No.
Yeah. We love you guys. Oh. We are your community and you are ours.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Love you. Bye.